Well, welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8 and double check something real quick. Okay. Um, this is unrehearsed creepypasta narrations, part 28. I just pulled up the creepypasta.com on my phone. Still dealing with some advertisements. Can't really complain. I'll just try to close as many as I can. And we'll just start from the top and I think I already did Gateway to the Mind. Trying to find one I haven't really done before, at least. See the one I did in 27. Rugrats Theory. Well, I'm not familiar with that. Let's try it. Now we wait. Now we wait to load. And more ads. Please stop. I'm allergic to advertisements. Okay. So. Okay, it's loading. And there we go. October 31st, 2011. I don't see a thing about the author. Estimated reading time, 4 minutes. Okay, so this is a really short one then. Read more. Can I read it? Thank you. Another advertisement. The original version. The Rugrats were a figment of Angelica's demonic and unimaginable imagination. Chucky died in 1986 along with his mother. That's why Chaz is a nervous wreck all the time. Tommy was born in 1988, but he was stillborn. That's why Stu is constantly in the basement making toys for the son who never had a chance to live. The DeVilles had a I know it's a story that's meant to make people uncomfortable. This is just making me feel really sad. This is just depressing. Angelica couldn't figure out whether it would be a boy or girl, thus creating the twins. As for all the fucking advertisements that keep popping up on my phone. Oh my god. As for all the grown-up, the teenage Angelica became addicted to various narcotics which further aggravated her schizophrenia, bringing her back to her childhood and thus the creations she obsessed over. Because of time lapse between the present and the last time she interacted with the creations, she made them older. Angelica was constantly taking hits of acid. I do enjoy the game LSD Dream Simulator, but I would not recommend doing drugs. But then again, like I said, I've never done drugs, but I would assume they're not healthy for you. So she would never have to live without her creations, who were only I'm just saying LSD Dream Simulator is a video game that somebody made for the PlayStation 1 that was only released in Japan. You can get on an emulator if you want. You can't find it on Steam, unfortunately. But it's... Some guy kept a dream journal. And it's just a game of exploration, but it's trippy as balls. Though there is a game called Hell Knight that's kind of like that. It's also a PS1 game. But it's more structured like a game rather than an experience. Though it's a horror game. There's a guy named Mike Mnemonic. Though there's a the word mnemonic. Mike Mnemonic. He did a playthrough of that. like probably a decade ago or something. Okay, Angelica's mom actually died of a heroin overdose in 1982, just after Angelica was born. And Drew, in his desperation, married a gold-digging that, that Angelica idolized because she fooled herself into thinking he was her real mom, but always had a concept of her mom, Cynthia, and took a Barbie doll and made it after her mom's image. This is just depressing. This is scary. Seriously. This is just depressing. And not like a cryy sort of thing, because I'm pretty sure like a couple of the creepypastas I did earlier in the unrehearsed creepypasta, like Doors and the Staircase Game, I actually did start to tear up a bit for that. This isn't like a teary sad. This is more like I just feel very indifferent and apathetic because it's so fucked up. Wearing an unwashed orange dress and having jacked up hair, which is why she was so attached to it. Later in life, she followed in her mom's footsteps with drugs and everything, dying of an overdose at age 13 when All Grown Up was cancelled. Okay. The only Rugrat not to be fictional, however, was unborn Tommy's brother Dill. However, Angelica didn't know the difference between Dill and her creations, although Dill didn't follow her commands. After endless crying and refusal to disappear like the others did, when Angelica's she hit, oh my. Due to this, he sustained a brain hemorrhage, which resulted in, god damn. As he grew up, his damage only became more evident, and by the time he was 9 and all grown up, he lived as an outcast, being ridiculed for his weirdness and a word I don't feel comfortable saying at all. The immense guilt over this led to Angelica's drug use and what led Angelica to uncreate the Rugrats briefly until her experience with hallucinogenics. On a trip to Paris to find love, Chaz married a woman named Kira. He was actually going to marry a different woman named Coco, but she just wanted him for his money, who had a daughter named Kimi that was torn for her because she was a cocaine addict. Angelica imagined her from Kira's stories. He lost his mind after the death of his wife and was in denial that she was ever a prostitute. Upon return to America, Chaz and Kira married and she got her green card. It was actually a really happy and romantic story. Nothing about this fucking shit was happy! The whole story is just... Kira continually struggled with addiction, but was relatively happy with her life with Chaz. Susie was actually Angelica's only friend, who entertained the thought of Angelica's creations for her sake. Angelica spent the last days of her life in the back of the school cafeteria, imagining her friends around her and playing with the lives of her creations. The tweaked version. What do you mean by tweaked? Like censored? Made? Because in general, I don't really care for censorship. At the same time, there are some times where it's kind of necessary, but I feel like that's a case-by-case basis up to, we have a rating system for a reason. Okay? I mean, Mortal Kombat isn't exactly, all sunshines and rainbows. The Rugrats were really a figment of Angelica. So it's a retelling of this, but it's at least... Yeah, it's the same thing, just they've changed some words, which... So, the more friendlier version, I guess. Not that it matters. Either way, this is depressing. Yeah. I still want to try to read more creepypastas. So it's kind of funny when I did because most of the things I did was back in toward Halloween, and it's May 26th right now, and I made a creepypasta video yesterday, albeit the audio for it is kind of shitty. But I was like, you know what? Even though I said in that video I wasn't going to do any more, I was like, I'm going to do like 5 or 6 more. I'm very stubborn. I still want to do 5 or 6 more. But this story just makes me want to just sort of space out and not think about anything. It's like I said, the story Doors and the story The Staircase Game, which I did back in October, earlier in this playlist, those were like teary sad. Like I was starting to cry just a little bit with tears and shit. This, my eyes are completely dry. It's just depressing's not the right word. It's more like it like saps your will to live. It's like it makes you feel very apathetic and indifferent to everything. Like after reading that, I mean, I could probably pull up if all of a sudden, if the fucking news all of a sudden said that World War III was starting today, I don't think I would care at all. I'm going to eat a bunch of chocolate before I make the next video. Because honestly, granted, I know this word doesn't fit since I'm still fucking talking, and I know I don't mean the word speechless. Honestly, that fucking Storia. Wow, I can't fucking talk. What is it, Catonia? Catatonic state? I kind of feel like that. I kind of feel like, even though it's kind of dumb to say that because I'm fucking talking, but I kind of feel like the only... You know what? I'm going to end this video. I'm going to eat a shit ton of chocolate. Play some sort of FPS game. And then we're going to come back to this. Not this story. This story's shit. This is just... This was like the worst demotivational thing ever. It's just like I said, it's not a teary sad. It's not even like, oh, this is depressing or dread or fear. It's just sort of made me feel like lost all motivation to want to care about anything. Like nothing fucking matters. And I know it's just a story and it's stupid, but you know what? It just, like I said, it just sort of like... It's just... Fuck. Like I said, it's not really sad depressing. It's more like... It drained all motivation to want to ever leave my house again. Not that I'm very social to begin with, but you know what I mean. It's just... It's like the overwhelming feeling that it gives me is that I don't want to talk to anyone. And not because, like, I'm sad or angry or paranoid. It's more like it just, the feeling from that story makes you feel like, what's even the point? Like, it's that kind of depressing. It's like, it's not a sad depressing. It's just, it's just like you don't feel any motivation. It's just like whatever drive you have to do anything in life. If you had goals, you're like, I don't really care about those now. Just just want to sit and watch paint dry now. So I don't know how to describe that feeling. It's just I'm going to eat a bunch of chocolate, play some FPS, listen to some metal music or something, and also probably try to pick a scarier picture for the next creepypasta. But I'm still going to do more today. I just need to do something to rekindle motivation to even interact on the level that I'm talking to my computer. Because reading that, it makes me feel like just talking to my computer and making a video no one's going to see. It makes me feel like that's too much social interaction as is. Like I feel like watching paint dry would be too engaging of an activity after that. It's just, yeah. Fuck.